Okay, so we've got a 2001 Chevrolet Prizm, same thing as a Toyota Corolla, and as you can see, we don't have no knobs here on our radio. Here's the knob. It is broke on the inside. The little retaining boss in there that secures the knob onto the shaft is all busted. So I thought I'd bring you along, show you how I'm going to model these up in Fusion 360 and 3D print some new knobs. Luckily, this little insert, which is what actually goes on the shaft here, which is generally pressed into the plastic knob. I'm going to take this so I can measure this, so I can model it up accurately enough to where hopefully this retainer will push into the new 3D printed knob, and then the 3D printed knobs will be able to be pushed right on there. So let's get started. Okay, so here we are in Fusion. First thing we want to do is kind of do some measuring to find out how big we want to make this thing. So I'm just going to measure the base here. We've got about 780 thousandths at the smallest part of the base. About 750, so 3/4 of an inch tall. It does have a slight taper to it. So let's see here. I'm just going to measure right before that radius of the top, and we're going to call that 770. So about 780 at the base. So this is the way we're going to do this. Now, the first disclaimer I want to make is I am definitely not any kind of a pro Fusion 3D modeler at all. I know about as basic as you can possibly imagine. So if I can do this, I have no doubt that pretty much anybody else out there can do it. Now, if you have a 3D printer, I highly recommend you learn the basics of it, whether it's Fusion or any other 3D modeling program. You will be able to make things that you generally would not be able to do if you didn't know how to 3D model. You can only download so many 3D files and print them off before you get tired of that. Okay, so now that we've got our measurements, our rough measurements, I'm going to just click on the sketch tool. I'll click this plane right here. I believe that's the Y plane, but I don't know for sure. We'll click the line tool. We're going to come over, what did we say that was again? That was 780.78. Enter. Line tool again. Now I'm going to come right to the center, and you'll see why here in just a minute. I'm going to come up, make sure it's 90 degrees. We're going to come up to 750, 3/4 of an inch. Hit escape so that I can click my line tool again. I'm going to come down to this corner. We're going to come up to the 750, but I'm going to tab over and I'm going to make this angle. I need that to be angled just slightly. So we're going to make it, let's see if 92. Yeah, that's probably good. I'm going to hit OK. Then I'm going to hit line. We're going to connect these lines there. Hit escape. I want to radius this corner right here. Just kind of wanting to make it look something like this, or half of this rather. Doesn't have to be exact. I mean, that looks pretty good to me. Now what we're going to do, we're going to revolve that. We're going to revolve it around that axis right there. So now we got the basic cap. Now we need to put the grooves in it, or these ridges rather. And I've measured them. So we're going to pick this face here. In fact, I'll just turn that around like that. Now, these grooves are about 40 thousandths, but we're going to make them 50 thousandths. And to do that, I'm going to just kind of eyeball. We're going to go about 400 thousandths high. Now, I'm going to revolve this too, so it's going to be half the diameter. I'm going to make them 50 thousandths wide. Therefore, 0.025. And we're going to come down, we're going to make that 0.4 just to have some kind of uniformity. And actually, you know what? All I actually need, I only need that and that corner radiused. But you know what? We're going to go ahead and do all four. Okay, now we need to revolve it. Okay, okay, and I want that to be a new body, I believe, is what I'm wanting. Now, obviously you can see that it's not angled right. So I'm going to hit M for move. Now let's cancel out that for a second. Let me go ahead and get that fitted. M for move. And I'm just going to rotate that two degrees. Well, that's actually 0.2. And that should match, because we was, I think, wasn't we 2 degrees here? From 90 to 92 was this angle. So, and it looks like that's probably, yeah, that's sticking out a little bit too far, so we're just gonna drag that in. It's about the halfway point. Okay. So there's that. So now we're going to do a pattern, circular. Select body. I'm going to select that body. I'm going to select an axis, and no, that's the wrong axis. Let's try this again. Circular bodies. The axis that we are going to select is, I'm going to select this circle right here, and it will automatically select the center of it as the axis. So as you can see right there, we've got 3 by default, but we're going to go ahead and we're going to increase this so you can see a little bit better until we see that it's going to be pretty close to what we want. And I think that right there should do it. Hit OK to that. Okay, so far so good. Now we got to figure out the innards. C for circle. Nope, that wasn't the center, was it? Right there. We're gonna go. You'll see what I'm doing here in just a minute. How about 680? 680 thousandths. Hit enter to that. Hit E for extrude, but we're going to go in. And what I'm going to do is measure from the right where that little insert goes. Okay, we're at about 250. That's 255. We're going to go 250, which is exactly where we're at. So there's that so far. Now we need a hole. I'm just going to take this that little insert right there, measure the widest part of it, which is 180, and I'm going to go 190. I think I'm going to give me a little bit of room to make sure I can get it in there. C for circle, find the center, and I like to pull it out to make sure that it's definitely the center. What did I say? 190.19. Now, obviously, as you can see here, that's kind of a half moon shape. So what I'm going to do now is measure across that way. The flat part is right here, and we got about 150. So I'm just going to take my line tool so that I know exactly where to. I'm going to start right here. And I'm going to come on over. I'm going to go 155 again, just to give me a little bit of fudge factor. Going to hit the line tool again. We're going to come here, straight down. Going to go there, straight up. Now I'm going to hit trim. I'm going to trim that, trim that. So now we got a D looking thing. E for extrude, highlight that, and this piece is about 312, so we'll go 320. 320 thousandths. And there's our hole for that. So if that is big enough, like I hope it is, when it's printed, this little piece right here will press into that, and then the knob will be able to be pressed onto the shafts of the radio. But so this is basically done. I'm perfectly happy with this. The one thing that I think I'm going to do, obviously if I printed this, I want this to be face down. Although I could print it with this. But I really want the top to print out nice. So I think what I'm going to do, obviously this would have to have supports in here. So to prevent from having to have supports, I'm going to do this. I'm going to chamfer, select that line, and I'm going to chamfer this just like that. And I believe that right there will prevent me from having to use any supports at all. I hope that makes sense for you 3D printer people out there. You know what I'm talking about. This hole right here is only 180 thousandths, right? Isn't that what I said? At the widest part. Yeah. So I don't think I'll need supports. I think it'll be able to cross that 180 thousandths gap without too much problem. So that is it. So now what I need to do, I want to select the whatever this tab is considered. I don't know if that's the component tab. or what. Then I'm going to come up here and I'm going to hit 3D print. Change this to millimeters. I've learned that for some reason there was times that if I kept it on inches, it would print fine. Typically, it would print to scale with no problem. Then I started finding out that whenever it went into Cura, the scale would be way off. So I've since learned to always select millimeters. Even though I have modeled this up using imperial measurements, millimeters whenever you go to print it. You're going to hit OK to that. It's going to bring up Mesh Mixer. We're going to hit Edit, Transform. Get close there, come over here, put 90, enter, hit Accept. Now hit Align. That just dropped it down to the bed. Hit Accept to that. We're going to hit Export. I'm going to hit knob 1, and I very seldom save the actual Mesh Mixer file, so I'm just going to hit don't save to that, and let's fire up Cura and let's see how it looks. Import it in, then we'll print one off, and we'll see how it's looking. And again, I am definitely not no 3D modeler. As you can see, for you pro 3D modelers, you guys just watch this and you're probably pulling your hair out wondering why I'm not putting dimensions and all that. And I'm still learning this. I'm basically showing this so that people with 3D printers that want to be able to make their own stuff, you don't have to be a pro modeler to be able to do basic. You know, I mean, this is about as basic as it gets right here, in my opinion. You know, a simple little knob. You can easily just hack your way through it and be able to actually get a good product on your 3D printer. And yeah, I don't have a fast computer anymore. This computer's about 8 years old, believe it or not. My days of upgrading computers every 1 to 2 years is long gone. Get rid of that. Let's go ahead and import in Prizm knob 1, I believe is what it is. I mean, that's looking pretty good. So, the layer height that I usually use is 0.12. Wall line count, let's go back. I'm going to put that back to the default, which is 3. Infill. I'm going to do 15%. $215. Yeah, that's probably fine. For the temperature, speed. We should not need supports. Okay, let's slice it and let's see how long it's going to take. 51 minutes. That sounds pretty good to me. So I'm going to go ahead and hit save. And we're going to hit that right there. Be right back. Okay, we're here at the printer. Got the file on the memory card. Went from card. And there we go. So whenever we come back, we're going to have a knob sitting right there. Okay, there's our first cat. It says 49 minutes is how long it took. So let's go in here. Sorry about my fingernails. I just got finished working on a car. The question is, are we going to be able to get our little insert in there? Okay, so here we go. Just so you can get a better idea of what this is looking like. Sorry about the lines. The flashlight is an LED flashlight. And it's pulse width modulated. Where's the original cat? Okay, so that's what we got. Original, 3D printed. So now, see if we can get this piece in here. Perfect. Look at that. So I'm going to print another one of these knobs, and then we're going to go out and stick them on the car. Okay, so we're out here at the car. So here's the first knob. We got the second knob here. This one's already got the insert in it, so we're going to push it on there. So we're going to take the little insert off right here, and we're going to see if we can get it stuck. Yeah, like I said, don't pay attention to my fingernails. I know they're nasty right now. Okay, I'm going to use I'm just going to use my needle nose, my Leatherman, to finish getting this thing put in here. There we go. Beautiful. 2 new knobs. Look factory. Perfectly functional. 3D printed. Just one of the few things that you can do with a 3D printer. You guys take care.